everyone. I'm down at Whitireia Park near Te Tahi Bay in Porirua. I'm down here doing some astrophotography this evening. There's a few things on my subject list, the first being the radio for Peter Tower, and then we will have a wander down to the beach and enjoy some of the rocks. There's supposed to be some cloud rolling in around 11 o'clock, and so I'm here nice and early, and the Milky Way is quite high in the sky, but we'll just make the most of it. It works quite well for this radio tower because standing under it, it's sort of beaming over my head, so that should look quite nice. And then we just have to cross our fingers that the cloud stays away. So we are looking to the best that we can at the radio tower. So we might just have to then have a look at the sign to learn a bit about it. And we'll look at the photos when they're edited. If you decide to come down to Whitireia Park yourself for some astro, you'll probably have to park on the road outside the park. Gates close at dusk and open at dawn. So in summer, they're open for a bit longer, but of course you don't get the Milky Way in summer. But you can easily just walk around with these automatic gates, so that's nice and easy. So for the radio tower, we're shooting at 8 seconds, f2.8, ISO 5000. That's on the 14-24 2.8S for Nikon. So looking at the back of the camera, as long as the display doesn't turn off, we can see that the radio tower is looking quite good. That's obviously a portrait shot with the Milky Way sort of on a horizontal behind it. So that should look all right. Right, on to the next location. As I said, it's quite early, so the time just 8:45. You can see for the radio tower shot, it's just the camera with an L bracket, and we're going to stack these photos. So I've taken about 27 photos, which should, when stacked, reduce some of the noise. Alright, so we are, I guess, just past the radio tower. There's a car park, and from here you can climb a wee hill to overlook Mana Island. Or if you climb down the hill, if you're very careful, there's a rock climbing spot. It's quite loose, so you just have to be very careful if you do rock climb there. The last time we were there, my wife got a nice good cut on her hand, because the rock is quite sharp, as I say. We're going to keep wandering over the hill, follow the road. When we get to the bottom, we'll make a turn left. I think there is a Porirua sort of halfway down, so we'll get a shot hopefully of the Milky Way, or perhaps just of that and the township lights. Yeah, so we're in for a bit of a walk. So Whitireia Park is a really beautiful spot for family photos, or couple photos, maternity photos, you name it. Come here at sunset and the long grasses just look so golden. So yeah, I guess that's something that you could do if you're a photographer that likes a bit of portrait stuff. And if you're not, then you might be seen walking the dog or going for a bike. I have seen someone with their scuba gear looking for kai, which is food. Yeah, so something for everybody. If you're coming in the daytime, just be wary that the roads are narrow, and pulling off to the side can be a bit tricky with these little barriers here. Alright, so we've arrived at location number 2. This is the Porirua, which is like a protector. So the Milky Way is still fairly high, just have to figure out which angle we will take. And I'll put the tripod down in a second and we shall check the time too. So this is a Porirua, and you can't see through the video, but you'll soon see through a photograph, the Milky Way isn't too far above. Cool, so let's set up the tripod. So I don't even need to light up with my torch this Porirua, because these lights over here of the township of Porirua in Plimerton, they do a pretty good job from over there. And so we're going to do exactly the same as we did for the radio tower. 8 seconds, f2.8, ISO 5000, and we'll just stack a whole heap of these. Alright, so I'm now down by the water, and I can see that the cloud is moving in. Luckily the Milky Way is still fairly high, but I've only got that limited window to go and get some shots, so I'm thinking I might try and get a shot of me standing up on a rock. Yeah, given the Milky Way is still quite high, it should work alright, but I'll need to be quick. I don't think I've made it, to be fair. The cloud has really just swooped right in. When I was up at the Porirua, I had some clear sky, so I took some shots of the Milky Way without any foreground. So it might be that I can use some of those shots to blend into the background. So this is gorse, and as you probably know, it's very prickly, which is a pain to walk through when it's overlapping the track. But anyway. Alright, so I might have we scramble up this rock. Just have to be careful. Because yeah, there's a wee way down. Alright, so it's safe to say that this shot is just going to be for the foreground only. The cloud is well and truly above me, and that all happened within sort of 20 to 30 minutes, so yeah, that's pretty darn quick. There's some planes flying in the background too, which won't matter because I'll whip out those clouds and planes and put in a bit of the Milky Way shot that I took earlier by the Porirua with no foreground, so yeah, that should look okay. So I can really just take my time now and get some good shots of the foreground. So having waited around for a wee while, the cloud cleared, although there is another lot of cloud coming through now. But I've just shot myself with a camera sitting up on that rock. I'm pleased that there is some Milky Way behind me there, and now we'll just head down to the other side of this kind of rock feature, and we'll try and get a landscape there. So in this shot, I was quite fortunate to still have clear skies, and you can see how there's a bit of a border or a framing with these rocks on either side, and then down below we've just got some nice little texture of grass and stones, and as you lead out we've got some rocks in the sea, and further out is Mana Island, and even further out I guess is the Milky Way, which you'll see shortly in some photos. So I did a couple of landscape and portrait orientations, and then I did a couple of me sitting on that rock there, and then standing on that rock over there. Yeah, I think it's kind of nice to see yourself gazing at the stars in a photo or two. And if we were to have a look at the back of the camera, we'll just really quickly pull up. We can see these me standing on the other rock. So that looks quite nice. And if we fast forward, hold on, let's just try and fix up this camera. Oh. Righty, so there's the vertical, and fast forward quite a lot. Quite a lot. Bear with me. Oh, there we go. So here we go, doing some landscape stuff. Here's me standing on that little rock in more of the middle of the picture. That bright light in the middle is an aeroplane, the one over Mana Island. Kind of adds something, it's kind of cool. I like that. And then whoops, too far. Those photos were from the last video. Haven't actually made it yet. Don't know if I will, we'll see. Yeah, and there I am sitting up on the side there. And that rock is just a little bit bigger than it is sort of made out to be in the photo. But yeah, pretty stoked with that. Okay, so the time has just gone almost 12, well, just past 12 at night. Midnight, ooh. And the Milky Way is getting quite low to the horizon, as you saw in the photos. So I think I got quite lucky. With the position I was in, the moon would have been behind me, and it might have just lit up the foreground as it did. But equally, there's a bit of cloud over there too, and that cloud might have helped, I guess, protect the Milky Way of being washed out by the reflection of the moon. So you see the time is 12:37. I think that means that the Milky Way has gone. And so we can see that more cloud has rolled in over Mana Island. The Milky Way has gone over the horizon, and those red dots over there are just part of the radio tower. So I'm well on my way back to the car. Alrighty, and that's a wrap. So I will edit some photos and put them right now.